During my travels across the vast landscapes of the United States, I often found myself drawn not to crowded destinations, but to quiet, remote places where silence seemed alive. These were the spaces where I felt a deeper connection to something greater than myself, where nature itself seemed to reflect a sacred order behind creation. I rarely followed strict plans on these journeys. Instead, I moved with a sense of inner direction, allowing each place to reveal itself naturally. Over time, nature became more than scenery to me. The mountains, rivers, forests, and oceans felt like living expressions of something divine. In those moments of stillness, I often sensed a presence that words can barely capture. Even ancient places carried a weight, as though the experiences and prayers of those who came before still lingered in the land. One day, without planning it, I found myself drawn toward Mount Shasta in Northern California. From a distance, the mountain rose powerfully beneath the sky, majestic, quiet, and almost beyond description. It felt like a place standing between heaven and earth, holding something mysterious within its presence. As I drove closer, I would stop often just to take in its beauty. Even in the middle of summer, patches of snow still covered parts of the higher ground. The higher I went, the more the world below seemed to fade away. Eventually, the road ended, and I continued on foot. There were 2 trails leading into the wilderness. I chose one, and told myself I would walk for about an hour before turning back. At first, everything felt peaceful. The forest was still, the air was clean, and there was a deep quiet that felt natural and comforting. But after some time, something within me began to shift. A strange uneasiness came over me. The silence no longer felt peaceful. Instead, it felt heavy. I noticed how unusual it was that I had not seen another person. I stopped and looked around carefully. There was no wind in the trees, no movement in the brush, no insects, no animals, only stillness. Even the faint sound of birds in the distance felt detached, as if belonging to another world far away. The forest around me felt empty in a way I cannot easily explain. It was as if life itself had stepped back. The trees stood motionless, and the air felt suspended. What had begun as a peaceful hike now felt unfamiliar, even unsettling. In that moment, I felt a strong inner sense that something was not right. It was not fear in the ordinary sense, but a deep instinct, an awareness that I should not continue forward. I stood there for a while, listening to that silence, and eventually made the decision to turn back. As I returned, everything changed immediately. I found the second trail and began to encounter other hikers. There were voices, movement, laughter, and the natural presence of people moving through the forest. The atmosphere felt completely different, lighter, grounded, and alive. That contrast stayed with me. Later that evening, back at my motel, I began researching Mount Shasta. I came across countless stories and beliefs describing the mountain as a place of spiritual energy, mystery, and unexplained phenomena. Some spoke of unusual experiences, lights in the sky, or legends of hidden civilizations. Others described it as a place where people feel strong emotional or spiritual reactions. I don't claim to understand any of that, but I do know what I felt that day. Looking back, I realized something important. Not every strong inner feeling is meant to be ignored. Sometimes discernment matters more than curiosity. Whether what I experienced was simply psychological, environmental, or something deeper, I cannot say with certainty. But I am grateful I listened to that inner warning, because in the end, the experience reminded me that silence can hold many different qualities, and not all of them are the same. Some silence brings peace, other silence brings reflection, and sometimes silence itself becomes a signal that it is time to turn back.